see that one's not up, so I don't know what I'm on. All right, so welcome to the West Milton Council Workshop for July 22nd, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hurst.
Present.
Mr. Sodders.
Here.
Mr. Fogel. Ms. Gregory.
Here.
Ms. Metz.
Here.
Mr. Horn. Mr. Dorman.
Here.
All right, the first thing on the agenda is the residential assessment legislation. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, as you well know, the finance director is still off on medical leave. This is the routine legislation that's passed whenever the village needs to file assessments with the county. I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you might have.
Council have any questions?
This is like the thing that we do every year, right?
Correct. Every year that we need to file assessments, yes.
All right. No questions? We'll move on to the elected officials' compensation. Anybody want to speak to that, or?
I placed it on the agenda at the request of council, so I don't have anything to add.
So in order for our council members, we get a very small stipend pay, and it hasn't been changed for a really long time. And the way that it works is, so like my term doesn't run up till like 2028, so I wouldn't be eligible to receive it. But anyone who is newly elected would be able to receive the increase in pay. I'm not sure what other places are making for their council members, but I feel like it's probably a little bit more than $50 a meeting. And then what happens if you don't come to a meeting, you don't get that $50, but there's also a lot more entailed than just coming to meetings. I mean, I'm having meetings outside, not anything that's like a big deal, but like with Retail Strategies. I mean, we've had several meetings with them that we're not compensated for, and I feel like it's really important that as we continue to grow and we're pushing for Retail Strategies, we're pushing for downtown development, we're pushing for a lot of things like this wastewater treatment plant that's potential. I mean, that's going to have a lot of additional discussions and conversations that for the small amount that we're compensated for, it's, you know, it's hard to attract people to run for council. And I know that, you know, nobody on this council is here for the money, obviously, but it's also, you know, our time is valuable. Our time and our knowledge and our education and our effort does have value. And I think that it's important that as a council that we show that there's value in what we're doing. I mean, it does matter.
Does anyone know any other areas? What?
I was thinking some of the similar ones around the area were 175 a meeting seems to come to mind for some reason. I mean, I think I've been involved with this for more than a decade, and it's been that way the whole time I've been on, and I'm going to bet it's been decades before that it's been that way. So you know, all your points are dead on, Sarah. I mean, people bring their times, their talents, and to the time we spend here, and you know, a little bit of compensation for not just being here. We only get paid for the meeting, but there's countless hours of going over stuff outside of meetings. Yeah, I think it's more than warranted.
There's quite a few seats coming in January, so if we don't do it now, then they'll have 4 more years before they get it.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, that's why I feel like it's important to bring it up and pass it, and I would think it'd even be more important to pass it before the November elections, just so like.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, petitions are due soon, so like if you don't have your petition in, you're not going to be on the ballot. But I think that it would just be important, you know, it's not a reason to run, obviously, but I do feel like the amount of work that goes into this, like, I mean, I don't track it, but I assure you I probably spend 20 to 30 hours a week researching and learning and reading and preparing and texting and emailing and making phone calls, like, and for $100 a month, like, it's, I mean, and it's fine, like, I'm not complaining, it's fine, I love and I'm grateful, I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to be here. But I feel like it also, I am a big believer in paying people what they're worth. If other areas are getting like $175 a meeting, could we do like $200 a meeting? Which would,
I don't think it has a big financial impact on the, on the village budget. And I would strongly reiterate what you're saying. We're not voting in a raise for anyone that's sitting on council now. It would only come into effect on people that are elected down the road. So we're not voting ourselves a raise. It doesn't work that way.
right, which I think is good. I mean, that transparency is really good. I think, like, my initial gut thought is like $6,000 a year, which would be like $250 a meeting. I don't know if that feels too high or too low, like what other places are getting.
Well, tonight's just the initial discussion, right?
Yep, that's what I was going to say is
I-
takeaways should be how much similar sized communities councils make in Ohio and who's going to do that research.
I don't mind
Yeah,
reaching
we
out
all
to
can.
3 or 4.
Okay.
I mean, I'll try to look within county, and then adjacent counties would be my focus, and then come up with, I don't know, hopefully 5. And I would say we're a village of 5,000. I would probably look between minimum of 5,000 people, but no more than a village of 10,000. We're not going to find people or villages directly dead on with ours, but I know we don't want to
Right.
go too big, too much bigger, where the roles change from what's similar to ours. And we don't want to go too much smaller, where, again, the roles aren't similar to ours. So
Right.
what do you guys think? Look for villages between 5,000 and
I
7,500,
think that
somewhere in
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. And I know, I mean, there's a lot of places in the state of Ohio that have villages our size, I'm sure, or similar.
It's all public information, so it shouldn't be, I mean,
Yep.
shouldn't be too hard to track down.
Yeah.
Cool.
I appreciate you doing that.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, you do so many other things.
I mean, a quick Google search said villages like Anna, Ohio pay their council members a set salary, which is $2,040 per year. Other villages such as Woodville, Ohio have set salaries at $3,000 per year. Plain City, Ohio, council members receive $200 per meeting. Mayfield Village, Ohio, $10,000 per year.
How big's Mayfield?
It's outside of Cleveland. I have a friend there.
Oh.
I don't know how big it is. So Columbus, Ohio, 61,000.
I like that.
They have traffic.
Oh, wait, he's wearing the Ohio State shirt. Oh, yeah. I'm all about it.
They have traffic.
All right, anything else? All right, we'll move on to the Future Service Department Complex Expansion Project.
Oh,
Ben?
We had a shorter agenda tonight, so I just wanted to introduce this, and then that way we can look at it more down the road. I do apologize, I usually have my, everything's in a file, but today kind of crept up on me, so. The TV show off. There we go. Okay, so I'll go through this pretty quick, because like I said, this is just kind of an introduction. But, so we're looking at currently the service complex right here. So if you remember, like when I started here, we had this service barn went into service in the 80s. And then the day we found out this was for sale, ran over to Rudy's and said, hold the building. And so as you probably know, we've connected these two buildings. Our problem is not as much now, but into the future, we're going to need a clean office, a clean break room. Because right now, if you go into the mudroom You go straight into where everyone breaks, and doesn't matter what you were doing that day, if you were cleaning the sewer or fixing the water main, you're walking right through. We've only got one cave of a restroom up there right now, and we're gonna need two, one larger maybe and one smaller. Just, so I will kind of show you, so I sketched something out, but, so again, that's the complexes from overview. And then, so this is the old barn right here, and this is that cinder block, that, Hoffman, or who painted that there? Who painted that?
The West Milton Nazarene Church.
Nazarene Church just painted this a nice, I guess we'd call it brown. The same color we want to paint everything eventually. So just to give you an idea of what we're talking, so this is existing, and then this would be the add-on area right here. And I purposely held off on doing any fencing or much of any camera work on this section because I had it kind of tagged for future expansion. So this was kind of like what I'm thinking. This is the main barn right here. This is where you already come in, so this section right here is existing. And this is tagged meter room because that's where we used to take all of our water meters and test them. Now we don't do that, City of Troy does it. So right now, this is kind of like, this is our office and our electronics room, and also our, we have some storage in here. And then this would become the mudroom. So when you came in this room, you basically have hose and stuff out here. Lockers would be in the mudroom, so that basically when you enter this area of the complex, you're expected to be not dripping mud and filthy because you're entering kind of what would be a clean area. This would be the new office. This would be more of storage and, again, our electronics, because that's where everything comes in. Our generator is plugs right here on the back, and then all of our circuit boards and stuff are right here. So this would still be an electronics room and a storage room, a unisex restroom, our new office. Then the break room would actually be right here at the tail end, and then this would actually be a full ADA, unisex restroom. Any questions? I know it's pretty basic, I just want
When are you looking to ultimately do this again?
I don't have a target date per se. Because I don't have any pricing or anything yet. This is kind of what I think that's what we saw. So, scratch that. Okay, yeah, this is the floor plan. I tilted on its side, so again, you can see this is where we already go in. This is actually marked electronics and storage. This is marked mudroom and lockers, new office, restroom 1, larger restroom 2, and break room.
So I'm assuming that you would contract this out, that your guys wouldn't
Correct.
do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
Do you have a ballpark range of what you're thinking cost-wise per
Not
square
right
foot
now.
or anything of
I
that?
just literally kind of threw this together now. So I think this is like, we do big projects all the time, but I mean, this would be, a building project, and I didn't want to try to squeeze this in at a budget meeting. It's just, I wanted to be able to show you exactly what the plans were. I actually do have a full set of engineered drawings for this, because after I started sketching and getting everything together, I pulled my file, and I actually saw a file behind my file from 2000. Brad Bath, when he was city manager, he actually has this all on plans already. So getting prices wouldn't be difficult. I think that's pretty much all the photos I had. So I guess to answer your question, Scott, we could look at starting it as early as next year. I mean, again, this isn't like we have to have this immediately, but it would be nice to start planning for it, even if we earmark some money in 26 and start construction in 27. That would be acceptable too, just knowing that we have, next year is going to be a heavy year for paving and repairs and stuff.
So would this be capital in your thought process from water, sewer, and streets? Is that how it would work?
Actually,
or-
we have parks housed up there.
Okay.
And because it has a dedicated office for what would be the service foreman or whatever that position is deemed in the future, I was even going to talk to the manager and the finance director about possibly some administrative funds, because Steve uses that office for planning and things like that already. So it will kind of be a 6-way split because refuse. So 6 departments would split the cost. Granted, if Manager Sheridan agrees with the admin or not, so 4 to 5 departments.
Okay.
How many square feet is it? How many square feet is it?
So that's 22 by 20, which is 22. Yeah, 400 to 500 square feet.
Where's the tie-in for the sewer line in that? Is there one in that building?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it. I know I had talked originally about trying to put this area in the Rudy section up against Hay Street, but all of our utilities come in next to that cinder block building that's already there. So we've already got the service there for water, we've already got service for sewer. The only thing we may have to do is possibly upgrade the size of those lines. Possibly, if they're 4" and 3/4, we would upgrade them to probably a minimum of a 1" and a 6" sewer. So that's something we could do on our own though.
My thought would be if you could get all the pricing together and here in short order, I mean, within the next 2 months, the budget committee is going to be meeting to talk about the next budget. Take a close look at it and see if it can ultimately be worked in the 26 budget for next year, because
Sure.
my opinion, way overdue.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's complaining, but it's just not a good situation up there these days. It's just, we're bringing in more people, of course, but then our project list is really varied now, and
I saw showers on there too, didn't it?
yes, the main facility had a shower, we have a small shower up there now, but it's pretty claustrophobic and we don't use it a whole lot. But if you actually have a clean room to do everything, I think it would get taken advantage of a lot more.
Manager Sheridan, what's your
Well, I support it completely. Based on the facilities I've seen in other communities this size, we need it.
Was there anything else, Ben, you said this was already mapped out from the old manager. Was there other expansion plans also, or just this part?
That would pretty much be it as far as the building goes. And honestly, in the next 10 to 20 years, really the biggest thing we would be looking at is more of a dedicated, under roof storage for our refuse trucks, because our salt barn, we've been keeping low capacity, and that's really not ideal. So that, whether it's use that building for the trucks and a different building for salt storage, so that and maybe another small storage building for plastic products or machinery. So those are the biggies. I mean, this carries us through the next 25 years to get this done.
So, do we know those buildings on J Street, those warehouses, what is in those or what they're used for?
The one that kind of faces where you come down Forest, that one was empty, I think. That's the only one I've been in the last 5 years.
We're working with that owner from a code enforcement standpoint. Chief Wright might have a little additional information.
He's in the process of, he's going to be painting and re-siding and roofing that building at the corner, not the one that's sitting on the adjoining property to the city garage, but on the other corner, behind the one-day flooring or next to the one-day flooring. He's going to be doing some major work to that. Actually, I think Lieutenant Stevens had spoken with
That's the one that's
Mr.
got a
Herring.
basement under it, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a basement or a crawl space.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a thing where you can back a truck down.
Oh, on the backside.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is it the same
yes.
owner then of the one that?
No, there's like 3 different owners for those various buildings.
There's a
in there.
library of books and library in the back portion of that. And then I don't know what he has stored in the front, but we've been in contact with him, and he's going to be working through very quickly because Lieutenant Stevens had spoken with Mr. Herron about getting some barricades for the sidewalk so that he could get some of this work done.
I just didn't know if the other building became available or the people are interested in getting off of it. If that was something for parking
I don't know
refuse
about the
trucks.
other building. I'm not familiar with that one.
That was still on my
It's
Rudy's,
over by
isn't
the
it?
gym.
No, like
Oh.
the,
On J and North Street.
yeah,
Like
Jay,
right along, yeah.
yeah.
That's the one the guy's going to redo.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, not the gym, but there's something like on the other side of it.
No, that's on Hamilton.
That's Hamilton, that's
Yeah.
Tinnerman's building.
Yeah, no, not the,
Okay.
like where the grain elevator.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right.
Interesting. All right, okay.
All right, next on the agenda is the proposed Founders Park plan. Ben, you have something for that also? Or?
I do.
All right.
So again, I tried to condense this to make it go just a little bit faster here.
This is great having it up on the screen, by the way.
Better than paper.
Now,
It is.
we've got to get Ben an iPad so he can
And
just zip, flip,
You
whip.
didn't get one?
It's a community one, and I was just using this because I was kind of in a hurry.
And you're more used to it?
Yeah. So this is, for everybody that's just coming in on this, anyway, so this is Miami Street, Water Street. So, Founders Park, which we haven't officially named it yet. I know, Councilmember Fogel had a thought of maybe not staying with Founders Park, which is sad, but, I mean, so, I mean, it hasn't officially been named, but it's just easier to call it something. I'll just kind of start from the front, and again, this is just a concept. I've been working with 3 council members on this, and this is kind of where we're at right now. This would be kind of like a cornhole area right here on the corner. I'm working with a local vendor to create a sign, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. This north side, instead of all of it, just the north side would be some frontier or old-time style wood fence. which I had
Like a
couple
split
of.
rail?
Yeah.
There's really, I got a couple examples on here, just split rail's one of them. And then maybe some kind of swing right here. Then,
Can I ask about the swing, like the red one in the park?
yeah,
Like
like that. I mean, I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that swing.
Which those are like, I want to say easy, but they're easier for us to manage because they usually come in limited pieces and we can actually put them together versus a huge plate. So there would be the swing. So if you come off Miami and turn on the water, I measured this out and I gave this a little bit extra room. This would be the parking coming off Water Street. And then you would basically, these would be safety ballards just to make sure that nobody went straight into the park. And this would be an ADA 5-foot sidewalk coming around to a concrete pad area. And the tables and shade is yet to be determined. I mean, there's really good ideas for this. And I got a couple examples, but again, I'm not pigeonholed into anything. I just want to put together what everybody thinks would be the best. I'm just giving you ideas, that's all.
So curious, just because I'm thinking through this right now in this moment, like, are wood picnic tables, are those hard to maintain?
Not treated, no. They're actually, you get the good heavy-duty ones, they last a long time.
Okay, because I'm thinking it would match the fence.
What's that?
I'm thinking it would match the fence, and you could cut out like a section, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, when you fix it onto that last section, you can just remove that, where this bench would be right there where, I think, like, it lags in two places, and just leave this end open. So that would definitely work. Mainly open grass, and then this would be future growth. And then there are 3 stumps, I think, on this property, and I think the consensus right now is just get rid of the stumps, which is fine. I'm gonna put my flagpole in a stump, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. I'm working on that, so we'll just, unless anyone doesn't want me to, I'll just get those done, like, quickly.
That's cool.
We've got
Yep.
some in the park, too. I'm trying to get them all together, that way they'll probably give us a discount if we can do them all at one time, so. So yeah, all these, I know there's one right here, there's one like right here, and then there's one back here. Those will all come out. And then last but not least would be, Water Street goes down to Founder Cemetery. And the goal, I talked to Manager Sheridan, we've talked quite a bit about this, the goal would be to incorporate the cemetery, like an overview of it would be to incorporate the cemetery with the park with our walking trails. So,
Can we include, like, when you go down to the cemetery, and I know that somebody put a lot of work, and Dan, you know who it was,
I'm
right?
pretty sure it was Marvin Root.
Put a lot of work into that. But that plastic fence, I mean, they don't hold up forever.
No. I would love to see us do something more period correct,
Like if we-
whether it be a simple rough cut picket fence. So I don't know, just
Like, can
whatever,
we
maybe
include that in the
whatever
park?
fence is.
yeah, take off of kind of make it sink, whatever you do. But yeah,
Like,
So-
I mean, because it's not that much fencing, and I think it would just be really nice to do that
Mhm.
for those, it's a cemetery. It just-
Yeah.
there's a lot of family connections still down there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very, like, I think it would be really pretty, especially, I mean, because those woods are so beautiful down there anyway. And the trails, you guys do a great job at that, and so, like, I think just having that would be, like, if we just included that to put in a new, I like the rustic, I
Sure.
love that idea, I think it's really cool.
So if we-
Especially going into America 250, just that whole theme, and
Yeah.
maybe having a whole,
So if we found something we really liked from the north side, we could carry that on and maybe do it in the cemetery too, possibly. So that's definitely doable.
Ben, so the top of your drawing there, that's going to be the west side, right?
Yeah, that would be the west right here.
So
That's Miami Street.
have
yeah.
you thought about maybe putting some trees in? I know they wouldn't be ready for quite a few years, but
Right.
maybe on the 25th anniversary of opening the park, these trees would be ready to provide the shade for the rest of the park.
Yeah.
But especially from that western sun, it's just going to bake people, after a certain point in the day. So a couple
If you did like corn, if you back this up a little bit, you could actually do something in right here and then something in right here. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something fast growing with a tall canopy.
Mhm.
like a bur oak.
like a sunshade.
No, I mean literally. So the back of my house faces west. There is nothing we can do in our backyard other than plant giant trees to stop you from being just accosted by the sun when it's dropping in the west.
Yep.
And he's 100% right. There's no easy up that saves you. Because it just comes in at an angle. You're just done for.
Yep.
You just yeah.
With some good trees.
And I will look, because there might be, like, I think Heritage Ohio or America 250, that organization, was gonna do like a tree program, so I can look into that and send you some
Yeah.
emails about it.
I've tried 2 or 3 different tree grants too, and majority of them are for larger urban landscaping, like hard surface areas in major cities. And we didn't qualify so far from what I found, but.
I would
that
hit-
be a huge if you-
I'd hit Brown's Tree Farm when they
Yeah.
do their sale.
Yeah,
And I would, man, pay a little extra money and buy some time. Buy some good 4-inch trees or larger and give yourself a several year advantage on the growth.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, really. I guess I envision it as like a place, number one, if you've got somebody in a wheelchair, I love our park, but it is kind of difficult to get around sometimes. And that's just and I'm not judging, it's just the reality of what it is. And I feel like if you've got somebody in a wheelchair, you've got this big wide sidewalk, you can push them onto a concrete spot to sit and have a picnic outside. Something that's relaxing and welcoming and not necessarily, just like a little sit down, get your pizza, come over from Clark's if you want to.
If-
Just, or bring your food or whatever. That's kind of how I see it, like.
If anything, I think just having the parking for the trailhead
Yeah.
and the sign, like even if it was an empty grass lot with the parking and the
Mhm.
trailhead, I think that's a perfect start, just of showing that this is part of the trail system leading to the park. People know like, oh, am I allowed to park here?
yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
I think we're listed
it's
on All
great.
Trails now and some different other
Yeah,
We are.
apps.
I mean, I go down in that way all the time because where I live, if I walk down to the park, it's the easiest place to go. But I think that's a great idea. And do we have, I don't remember, do we have signs that's like, because that hill's really steep going in there and I don't anticipate there being steps or anything.
I think
No,
I mean, it's
eventually
fine.
we would do
That would all be
something.
kind of part of this project in general, would be we'd have to do some clearing and do some steps, like maybe some railroad tie type gradual steps to get down.
Yeah.
That hasn't
The
been
handrail
used.
along one side and you got, 4 steps and then you come down a railroad
Yeah.
tie and then that's how I picture it. Because
Mhm.
I think
I don't
that'd
think
be great.
I don't think you can switch back it. It would
No,
just be
you'd
a
have to
lot.
do something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Could-
kind of steep, and it hasn't been maintained for a path for a long time, so. But it's definitely, I think all of this, again, kind of ties together to the whole project.
Well, I think as soon as you get to that next stage where you go in and remove some honeysuckle, I think it'll create a tunnel effect as you go down through there and it'll be super cool.
It's so pretty
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
I love going down there. Like the trail, doing the extra trails is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think we timed it. I think from majority of town can walk to that trailhead in under 6-7 minutes from even some of the farther points in the village. From my house, I think it's like, I don't know, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. I mean, so it's really a lot more accessible to the people that are already walking in the village, The idea of having to drive all the way to the park to get in no, you can just walk there from your
yeah,
house.
so you just walk down, because it'll be connected to what's the right of way for the sewer trunk line, so that's always gonna be open, and then it meshes into the park, so. And then at the same time, we would want maybe some kind of signage, obviously, for founders also,
Yeah.
the park, or the cemetery. I did put together just some rough estimates, kind of where we're at now on the second concept. As far as the off-street parking, we'd be looking at around 5,500. Now, I would stake it, and then we could dig it out and base it and all of that to save money. The barrier curb, walkway, and then the pad for the tables would be around 10. I'll show you the marker here in a minute. And also I had a couple just for fence. If we did, I just threw the one on there at the table, and then it has its own shade, kind of like a mini pavilion look. I just put that on just so we would have, it was around the same price as the others. Seems like the others were between 10 and 18, maybe.
What did we pay for that big shade thing in the park?
I don't know, it was all factored in,
So
so it all
package?
came on one package.
I mean, that isn't the style that fits with it, but
Yeah.
that's some nice maintainable shade.
Mhm. is. So, and then the custom sign and posts. Now, this was the swing I think we were talking about.
Yeah.
It kind of matches what's down there. Just the miscellaneous stuff. So right now, we're at around 40, depending on, you know, how much we want to do and that kind of thing. And then just 10% on that, so just say 45 on the outside for what we have on here now.
How much is like a pavilion roof thing that would cover the entire concrete pad?
So I'm still kind of working on some pricing. Let me see if I don't know if I got that. Let's see. Let's see if I actually included that. This would be, so this would be kind of the sign design that why isn't it coming up?
I know, that's how it looked on the
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, that's how it came around the
Oh, okay.
email.
Well, this is supposed to say, basically, Founders Park established 2025, and then these would be actually laser cut and go on each side, and then our logo would be right here. Again, just a concept, but I thought the person that makes these signs would make this sign out of treated wood and with laser cut the wheels, and I think it'd look really cool. But again, if somebody has other ideas, that's fine too. I basically secured them just to give us a price on this one, just to see where we're at. And it's a local, like I said, I think they're gonna come in pretty cheap. That one.
So I got two things I wanted to throw up that I was thinking about. So it was fun, and the residents, if I'm not mistaken, back when we did this, and Dayon and Scott will probably remember this, back when we were looking at turning the old school property into a park, we threw it out to the community to come up with names for the park. So we ultimately came up with Old School Park was what it was going to be, there around the practice field area. I don't know. I think it would be fun to maybe throw it up to the village residents to come up with some names other than Founders, if we want to do that and ultimately involve the community. I think that's great. And also, we have a lot of very, artistic people here and kids in the community. Maybe even coming up with a sign design as well.
Everybody's buying pizza and walking over there. It'll be end up being known as Clark's Park. You know, is what it'll end up
Maybe
being.
even a fundraiser.
Yeah, I mean, we could make it
I mean,
really,
it's fundraiser.
we could make it
Call
really,
for a vote.
really fun and interesting. So,
In case we haven't explained it to the people at home, where the idea of Founders Park comes from is it's Founders Cemetery.
right.
Down there, it's the founders of West Milton. You'll see, I think Benjamin Innings is buried down there. The family that had the cabin out at Bruckner. So that's where the founders portion comes from. That is super cool, Ben.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so like, this was
That is
pretty
so
popular, but then this one is pretty cool too.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Maybe that's why it's just insane.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna both last, anything like treated wood is gonna last a long time. I mean,
That's really pretty.
I found this one on Google, and I know Dayon was talking about trying to find somebody like local that maybe can do this, and
the guy that has the wood shop and wrote all the books and has the YouTube channel was doing the
Nick
writing.
Engler.
Man, what a great YouTube show he could put on doing this as a project.
Very possible.
Two birds, one stone, puts us on the digital map, gives him a show. I don't know. I just think might be cool. That he lives kind of cattywampus from it, really, or just down the road.
We have a graphic artist, Megan number 2, is very good. She's the one that ultimately did our logo back there. So, it'd be cool to throw it up to residents with the naming of the park and design. If folks think that's a good idea, I think it would be fun.
It's a great fundraiser.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to pay $10 to put their vote in? Is that-
No, you pay $1 a vote. We can have a whole contest, it'll be fine.
Ben's over there, 500 into Founder's Park.
I know, I mean, I like the voting, but I really like the Founder's Park. I like the tie-in.
You know-
I like Founder's Park too, and I'll pay $1 for my vote.
The number 2 one I could think of that would be cool would be Heron Park, but
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Well, I originally wanted to name it after my mom.
Go for it.
Yeah.
It would make her feel cool.
well, you can tell her that, bring her to a little private ceremony, tell her it's just your secret.
Ben, I know there was talk too of another park entrance to get into the park, that we've talked about that.
So
Is,
this would kind of tie into that.
it would, okay.
And that's kind of why, again, this is like, I know we're just talking about the park right now, but like Manager Sheridan stated in the beginning, this would be great to tie this all in to, all together, second entrance, and you mentioned something else.
Well, it's part of trying to expand the acreage, if we're able
Yeah.
to.
Because that's not, Founder's Cemetery is
It's just a
part of-
postage stamp out of it.
But it's
Yeah, very
not,
small.
that's not the cemetery. The cemetery is much larger than that.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'd have Founder's Park, and then the actual trails would be like Founder's Walk, and then you'd have Founder's Cemetery, so you got a thing going on.
Yes. I love that. This is fun. This is a fun part of council.
So this is kind of the one I presented at one time, so this is what our cost estimate was based on. Mainly just if we had 2 seating areas, this could be an ADA. This has its own shade. However, we also have something like this, which that would be more of a neutral color. Really, the pricing on these is almost identical. So that would be more of a canopy style. And then this would be more of a kite style, so don't mind the colors. I think I got another one on here. Yeah, so this is kind of more of a neutral color. So these are kind of based on 3 poles per kite. And the kits from your larger companies come with the posts and the kites. And these are commercial fabric, so they'll last.
Have we had to replace the one in the park yet?
No.
But it is replaceable, like fairly easily, I
think
believe
so,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy, but I'm sure.
It just seems to me like they're made to be, they've got a lifespan, and then the rest of the structure has a longer lifespan.
Right. Again, this one's, I did 20 by 20 just to see, you could do like a 20 by 20, 30 by 30. So this one, for one section, is around $8,100. So yeah, that was kind of the 3 we discussed. So again, just something to think about.
On those bottom ones, can you slightly angle it so it would catch the west sun sooner?
Yeah, you can mount these kind of how you want. I'm pretty sure, I've never put one of these up, but I think,
You can mount them so that they give you shade at certain times of day, certain ways. Sometimes they overlap them, and you're like, why is that weird shape that way? It's because one part of the day, this sail is throwing shade here, the next part of the day, this next sail is throwing. There's a whole science to it.
I like
you
the
see them out
shades,
west, like
yeah.
Arizona, New Mexico. They're in every seating area, because otherwise you just burst into flames.
I like those shades in the picnic tables myself. Like, I know those shades aren't as rustic
are you
looking.
talking about the ones on the bottom or you talking about these?
Make it look like a covered wagon.
Oh, yeah.
I like those.
Conestoga wagon or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I like those. And I know it's not as rustic, but I feel like it's gonna give more sun cover.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, these are limited on where the sun.
I don't see anyone in the shade in that
If your
exact
dog is in there, and I mean, I'm just thinking like, if you've got really sensitive skin, like, I'm trying to think of things that like,
Everybody's in the 10 by 10 and you're the last one with your plate at the picnic and you end up in the corner that the sun's beaming in on you the whole
Yeah.
time you're eating.
I would like that spot, but not everybody
Scott
does.
Vogel's sitting there, he needs shade.
Right.
Or a big umbrella.
I would trade you spots.
I just go back to one of the things that our community has that others around us don't have is huge park, acreage there, river frontage. I think it's a way to capitalize on a resource that we have that, everybody can have access to, utilize. It's not particularly to one demographic or another. Everybody loves the park. I just think investing in our park system is money well spent for our community.
Manager Sheridan and I met down there today with a possible vendor that can provide I'm just going to call it a pavilion, because that's kind of what it is. He sells for a particular company that does multi-type projects like that. They're kind of like kits or whatever, but he was pretty knowledgeable. So just trying to get some pricing ideas instead of waiting until the last minute. But so lastly, this would be, so you turn in these historical markers. Basically, you submit what it is, where it is, why it's a historical marker. Then they say yay or nay. I don't know how they'd say nay to the original cemetery in West Milton. I've seen them at places that were a lot less, I don't know, historical than that. And then they actually, that's what it looks like, which I'm sure you guys have seen these all over the place. But then I'll give you just, I think the last one I had is just some pricing on that, and then maybe.
We have one down by the park now. For the Underground Railroad, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can't find it, but it's pricing on that, and it's,
they were pricey.
yeah, I mean, I don't
What is,
remember.
I remember it was it like $1,400?
I thought you had it in that,
14 or 16.
didn't you have it in that overview?
I did, actually, I think I have it right here.
Yeah, what's the overall estimated price point that you have put together? 45?
So say 45, I think there's 25 in the budget for projects for council.
Wasn't there 35?
Oh, maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, so like, yeah,
And we have 35K in the budget.
yeah.
Plus maybe, another 25 that we were going to use for parks.
I don't know if this would make a huge difference with the parking spots. Could be gravel.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to,
If we're trying to
you
stay
can
on
create
budget,
them
I don't know.
and then come back later and pave them, so you can save money there. I mean, there's lots of, you don't have to go in and do all this at one time. This was just kind of, we scaled my original concept back, which was great, and then this would be just, you had to just decide what you want, what's the most important to get done first, and then work from there.
So can we have it done by like September of 2026?
Yeah,
We could have it done by
That's
September
my
of
goal.
2025.
Do it on public.
depends on how stingy you guys are.
Ben can spread gravel by Monday.
You're hilarious.
What?
Are there any?
It's Heron Park now, come on.
Park grants that we could possibly look into to offset any of this?
Yeah, I mean, there might be something out there. Once we decide what we want, then you can start looking for some funding and see if it's available.
Because I remember before when I was on the park board, they all come up every 2 years. There's a 2-year time window, and they usually have to submit, I think, May timeframe of each year.
Yeah. The problem is we've gotten all of them in the last year or two. So like last year, year before, so like the big 2 or 3, the last one would be the restroom, and then hopefully, what's the
green space.
And then for the 4 projects, the block grant.
The CED.
Oh, the CDBG.
Yeah. So that's like number 3 or 4, but we've actually applied for and got them, and they kind of ding you if you just received funds, but there's probably some smaller ones. But it's definitely worth, I would definitely look regardless to see.
Well, maybe we can look at local businesses to sponsor parts of it too.
Yeah. Like the cornhole boards, those can be sponsored.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. That'd be great for right there with Clark's Pizza.
Sure.
You hear about
If they had Clark's Pizza cornhole boxes with their advertisement on
Oh,
it.
yeah, paint their pizza box on the
Yeah,
cornhole thing.
how cool would that be?
Yeah.
I'd support that.
The markers are, with like 1-inch text on both sides, is around $4,000. I was thinking of refurbishment, so they're around between $400 and $4,500 for the marker. So again, it's not something we have to do right away, but eventually it would be nice to have a historical marker there. But I wouldn't figure that into the beginning price because that's something you can get later.
I love that historical marker though. I think those are really, like when I see them, I read them. Because I think it's a really good, quick way to learn like the history of something. Like I would have not known that we had an Underground Railroad house in West Milton were there not a sign? But that is something that I agree with.
So let me ask you this, because you're involved in this America 250, is this something, since this is a historical preservation of the cemetery and stuff, and we're trying, is there any funds that are available for anything like that? Okay,
There
good.
was there's a tree thing that they had, I don't know, because they started America 250 stuff like 2 years ago. So there is a program, and I emailed because I don't know the answer. But there is like a My County Tree planting program. And I don't see that we've had anything in Miami County, so I sent an email to see if we could be that city. But
Sounds good.
therefore, it's hold on, I'll tell you. White oak trees. Plant native white oak trees.
Those grow decently fast, too. Those grow decently fast, too.
Even better.
Right, yeah.
And all of us on council could be out there planting trees.
I'll volunteer.
Yeah. How cool would that be?
Who's president of Rotary right now?
Oh, we just
Katie
switched over.
Miller.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of different groups that are commonly associated with
She's the head librarian.
picnic pavilions or this, that, the other, that, commonly you see attached to service projects and funding.
What in
You got
Steve
Rotary,
Rumbaugh is the
you got
secretary.
Masons, you got, the Lions Club.
The
No more.
VFW, if somebody has a contact with the one in West Milton, I don't have a contact, but my understanding.
We don't
is
have a
they
VFW in West Milton.
The bar down on 48, it's not in West
Ball.
Milton.
Oh, that one's,
Ambets?
no, it's VFW, but that's actually in Montgomery County.
in
But
Union.
they have
They
money.
donate money here.
Okay.
They'll donate money here.
Sure.
I
They
don't
give
know.
to
which
our
There's one in P Hill too,
Yeah.
Council of Churches.
but.
Sometimes law offices donate.
Yeah, good old Brandon Coates.
Chief of Police Fund? Is there a Chief of Police
See what
Fund?
that-
Basically, we would love to have some donations
Well, I mean,
for our new park.
the more support you get, maybe the more gussied up you do it,
Absolutely. I feel like this is an important thing. I mean, we've got this pile of land sitting there, and I feel like giving something back to our community is really important. And this is the fun stuff we get to do on council. And I think getting access into those trails, it's such a gift that we have that in this community. Like, not every community has like a park where you can just walk down and relax by the river. That's a gift that we have, and to be able to just walk down there, it's a nice thing to have. And so putting back into the community, I think you get that investment back. But yeah, I
think we really need to get some drone footage of the trail system and throw it up on our YouTube channel. just so people that aren't able to get down there and see what it is can see what it is,
Yeah.
It's very nice.
All right, next on the agenda is the proposed downtown mid-block crossing.
I'm probably tired of hearing from you.
No, we,
You do a terrific
I
job.
promise this will be quick. So, we're adding the 2 on 571 through Grant, and then we're working on the 2 on South Miami. The last area that we identified, I know Manager Sheridan has seen it and talked to people, would be downtown on the second block, which would be on this side, basically. Our parking lot's over here. I don't know why that's blurred out. I guess something's over there. Anyway, so basically to get from around the parking lot to the west side of Miami Street. So I've looked at this for a long time, and the issue that we have, there's certain things you can't do with the mid-block crosswalk. On this end down here, all we had to worry about was parking, and we adjusted that. On this side, you have 2 entrances here to a parking lot that people would be focused on, and you also have entrance to an alley. That creates a major hazard from a crosswalk standpoint. So let me show you 3 here.
and you'd have to cut the curb on the other side and put in ADA, right?
Exactly.
And then, which also means you're gonna lose, what, about 3 parking places?
That would be, you would have to delete this parking completely. Just to get your sight distance on both directions, this parking would have to be deleted over here. It's just not a really good spot for a crosswalk.
I'm just not sure I'm not sure why we're talking about a crosswalk in between 2 crosswalks. Like, how far would that midpoint crosswalk be from the one at the corner of Hamilton?
One of the businesses requested it.
Okay. So, but I mean, we would have to take those parking spots out, which is like 3 parking spaces, so it would have to go away. And then my other question, if a business requested it, like, there's a cost to us, right? So when we talked about like the school crosswalks, we asked the school for money, would we ask the business for money as well?
I don't believe we did in the past. That was not raised.
But we did with the school, so I mean, I'm just
Yes.
curious, like, because to me it would make sense if we're asking the school for crosswalk money, that we would ask the business that's asking for a crosswalk to pay for it.
I could see in the future, looking at this, depending on what happens with retail strategies, if there's more retail down there and there's more foot traffic. To me, I agree with Sarah, as it stands right now, with what we currently got there, you don't have that far to walk to those crosswalks. I mean, you don't even have a half a block with the businesses downtown. So to me, I don't know what benefit that would provide, and I think it would cause more of a safety issue myself.
Because people are gonna cross at the shortest path from where they parked.
Yep.
And in order to facilitate the safest and most, well, safe, so, yeah, it goes back to safest, doesn't it? So, yeah, you would want to put something in that was closer, because most people aren't. They're just going to run across.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm saying most people, I mean, it's like, there's tons of studies that show that people are just going to cross the shortest path. Mm-hmm. And so it's best to try to facilitate safe in those areas. And I think that's probably where Ben's thoughts were maybe on this was.
I just think we've already got a crosswalk right here. We're already ADA compliant in Hamilton. And I think all of you probably have been downtown and you've seen somebody standing right here. I mean, I know I see it all the time. Like somebody, what would they want to cross here? And it is a crosswalk, but it's not signed. And there's no indication of dedicated crosswalks. So these people are stranded there for 50 cars. So we already have signage in stock to make this at Hamilton a dedicated. So those people aren't stranded there. I mean, if you're on either one of these, you can utilize this one to get across safely. We would not be able to put something in the center because of turning, but we would have, and that's not mandatory, but we would because it's not a mid-block. So by signing this crosswalk with the arrows, I think that solves the problem from what they were asking for.
So you're talking about improving the crosswalk at the corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I'm a fan of.
I think
Especially
people
the
were
lights.
distracted thinking that it was a whole separate crosswalk.
Yeah, I did too.
Being put in at the parking lot.
Is that what they want? Is it a
That's-
separate
I mean,
crosswalk
it
in the
was,
parking lot?
I know it's been discussed that that's what some of the property or business owners were interested in.
Right.
And so that's when we started paying attention and talking about this. This has been a couple months ago, we started looking at this. And it just makes more sense to utilize what's already there, but just improve it. And unless you, obviously, it sounds like you guys are thinking the same as we are. It's not very far from here to here. And
Right.
just this morning, there was a guy and his kid standing there waiting to cross. Well, I stopped and the car's going the other way. Didn't, but I mean, once we sign it, it will be obvious that people are going to be crossing.
I think the initial request came based on the thought that we can just replicate what we've done down by where Pearson House used to be, and it would be very simple, not understanding all the complications that Mr. Herron has just explained. So they thought it was just a matter of putting out, signing it differently and putting out the little sign in the middle of the road, which has been said we can't do. So I agree with Ben's recommendation. It makes sense to just improve the other crosswalk, but I want you to understand why the request was made. They thought it was very simple, just replicate what we've done already, and that's not the case.
Well, I think the other thing is different too. If you look at it from, somebody had it pulled up, Google Maps up there. If you look at where the other one is, there's a city right-of-way that we have between those two buildings, the sidewalk that goes all the way down to the park, and then the sidewalk that goes between the buildings towards the post office.
Right.
That is a larger than average, I mean, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not an alley, but it's not really just a sidewalk either. But that crossing there is a part of that.
Yeah.
So it is bringing people across from those parking areas, or from people that park behind what was Pearson House and whatnot and come in. So there was more to it,
Sure.
in my opinion, to that intersection than what we're talking about over there.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at it from like the Google Maps, space view. It's more than just a crosswalk to Pearson House.
Yeah, and I think getting rid of 3 parking spots, I mean, cities, as we grow, there will be people saying that we don't have parking, which we have lots of parking downtown. Cities don't have a parking problem, they have a walking problem. I've been waiting for so long to say that. But I think getting rid of 3 parking spaces, I mean, that's a lot of, that's good parking spaces. to
Yeah,
get rid
I
of.
mean,
And it's just,
those are highly coveted spots right there.
but could we look, if you're gonna do signage at that crosswalk, can we price to do it at all the crosswalks in town? Is that a possibility? I don't know if it necessarily has to be the loud things or just different signage or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we
you
can
know
look
that,
at some additional ones, yeah.
but I think that'd be cool, because if we do it for one, just do it for all. and-
Pavement markings.
Yeah, I mean, some of those we'd have to wait till we could get them thermal down and thermal pavement markings and.
Is there a way to get
We'd have to have
flashing
pavement
lights?
markings at
Something
all
to
of them.
alert the drivers that, hey, pedestrians have because on down, in front of Pearson House, there actually is,
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
There's like a sign.
yeah, that
The
sign,
speed
but
limit
since we
ones.
can't do that, but,
Yeah, I mean, basically they're LED blinker signs.
okay.
Which is
Excellent.
possible too.
Is that what you're doing at the ones more south?
Those 2 will be like their RPM or something. They're actually they're rapid beacon crosswalks.
There's no like the buttons.
Yeah, it talks to you. But so these would be, you could do a blinker sign, which is a lot more economical than the push button flash, and they're pretty easy to maintain. The speed limit signs down there are 15 to 20 years old. We've replaced the batteries and that's it. So they last a long time. So we can look at putting those up too.
All right, thanks.
How soon are we looking at doing these upgrades to the current crosswalks? I mean, is this,
So the ones on Miami Street, I will be talking to our contractor over the next week or two. So I'd like to have those done in the next 30 to 45 days. We're still
Great.
waiting on the equipment and stuff for those anyway. Then, of course, you know, the ones on 571, so far we've been awarded the funding, and we're going to try to get those moved up. I know me and Manager Sheridan talked about possibly getting those moved up on the timeline, especially the one on that
Stone Meadows?
south out towards your place.
Yeah.
And then this one would be easy. I mean, we could sign it standard now, and then we can always order LED blinkers and just replace the two, because they'll mount the same, so.
Sounds great. Good.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome. I'm done, you don't have to listen.
All right. Stillwater Crossing Streetlight Project Update.
I was contacted recently by Miami Valley Lighting, who got the contract to install the new street lights in Stillwater Crossing South. The contractor had run into some challenges with the limestone. They had been doing boring for most of it wherever possible, and as I understand it, where the limestone is layered, the boring will work, but they're now to the point where most of the limestone they're running into is solid, and they're not going to be able to bore it in. They'll need to open trench it, which will make much more impact on the yards and the other areas, other infrastructure that was already there. So they were following up with the developer and with the village to get, to make us aware and make sure we were okay with moving forward on the open trenching, since it will be much more invasive to the development.
That was a very kind way of putting that they were reaching out to us. It seemed like we were pushing to find out why, more the other way, but you're very kind there, Mr. Sheridan.
So
Okay?
it sounds like to me that is going to ultimately impact the homeowners, the residents that live out there.
Correct.
Have we had a chance to, talk to them as well? Is there anything with the homeowners association that we need to,
We've not communicated this fact with anyone. The developer just got back with them today to give their approval.
Okay.
One of the keys is at this point, they're not asking for a change in their contract price. But the deeper they get into it and the more complicated and more expensive it will be to open trench, I would be surprised if at some point that becomes an issue. So this is just at the beginning. I can communicate with the HOA. We can try to send out notices to the residents, whatever council thinks appropriate, assuming you are in agreement that it makes sense to allow them to go ahead and open trench, since I believe that's really the only option at this point to get streetlights in the entire project.
It's a utility right-of-way issue, right? It's not really,
Yes, that's a part of it, and because it was not originally designed to accommodate streetlights, it may be a little tight and it may have impact on some of the other
but
utilities.
it's the same way if they go to replace gas lines, you don't really
Sure.
get a say-so in it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
It's happening.
Yes, that's correct.
Same thing if they bury electric lines or
Yes.
utilities of any type, it just kind of is what it is. They have to make it right and look like it did before they trench.
That's the theory. Sometimes the practice is more challenging to get the contractor to actually meet those standards.
I think the ones that do it a lot, you see these, they come in and do these gas lines. I mean, you probably see it more than us, Ben, but sometimes they make, man, somebody got a nice sidewalk replacement out of it.
Absolutely.
Their janky curb in the front is now all right, and I don't know. Hopefully they do good work. I
I'm
mean,
not suggesting it's not possible. I just think this is a little different situation with the streetlights.
brand new houses. and-
Yes,
yeah, no,
yes.
I agree.
Yes. So I just want to make you aware, unless you suggest otherwise, we'll give them the thumbs up and then start trying to communicate with the residents to let them know what's taking place.
I mean, what are the other options? Like,
I-
is that, I don't think
Yeah,
there's
would we
another.
just stop, because the whole front half is already dug? So would we just stop at the front half if we said no?
I'm not sure what that wasn't discussed. It wasn't, well, if you say no, what's going to
I
happen?
don't think one area of the village gets to vote for no streetlights and another area that has them, or, I think it's, I think we,
People will be upset, maybe, but
I understand that it's uncomfortable and it's your yard being dug into, and I get that, but the long-term result is
you can see.
much more important, and it's a safety issue, and, you know, I get it, but like, it's a temporary problem for a much more important solution, because it's dark back there.
oh, you talk to the bus drivers that head back there in the mornings?
I mean, yeah.
But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I've seen a lot of the light poles are up.
No, they came back down.
So it turns out those weren't light poles, those were something for Ryan Holmes.
Oh, okay.
That was just marketing.
Oh.
Goals.
So that wasn't anything to
Yeah,
do
so
with the
there's
street
no-
light?
There's been no lights up.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta go. I mean, this has been way too long in the making. I think we
So what
need
do
to
we-
definitely move forward with what needs to be done to get them in there.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
We'll certainly post it on the village website and our Facebook page and any other methods of communication with the residents that you want us to try.
Is
So if
there-
they damaged anything, they'd be responsible, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And if it costs more, the developer will still pay for it?
He hasn't said no.
Okay.
All right, next is the proposed sidewalk program. So I kind of took what was originally proposed and kind of shaped it more onto what I had foreseen and wanted to do from the very beginning. I'm not sure if everyone had a chance to look at it, but like it's kind of a rough draft, but it would definitely need, you know, somebody that knows what they're doing to go through and fix it up. But I also kind of went through and said, like, you know, there's a scoring. Instead of first come, first serve, we have like a scoring. And then we have like a section, we want to work this section. And then if you're in that section, you get bonus points, right? All of this is in that Word document that I had sent. Let's see. You know, if the property's on a corner, it gets a little, you know, +1 or whatever. If you've got the funds ready to, you know, match your 50%, you get a bonus, you know, points there. So that would move you up in the scoring. Some of the issues that I thought of was how much funds do we allocate? So if we've got a $50,000 like grant, but we have to put money up front in order to pay for it because we're going to be paid back, how much money do we need to allocate total? Is it 100 or do we only do like 75,000? And the additional piece would be parts that, you know, would cover the overrun and would, you know, ultimately go back into the general fund at some point because it wasn't needed, because it wasn't actually part of the grant. The maximum amount of funds, let's see. So, like, one of the other things was, what if we only spend, say, 35 of that 50,000 this year? Well, do we just top it off next year, or do we add an additional 50,000
I would go
along
there.
with that 15?
I would hope it eventually gains traction. I keep adding to
Yeah,
it.
keep adding to it instead of just
It's
topping it
never going
off.
to get cheaper.
Right.
I mean, there'll be a time that you wind down the program, but that's probably years in the
10 years
making to
away.
really accomplish what needs to be, or what we hope to be done,
Yep.
you know? So I would say let it roll.
I like that the first goal was, I mean, I live like downtown and the sidewalks are not great, but they exist. But like over in some of the other neighborhoods, like you walk and there's a sidewalk in front of one house and then there's no sidewalk and there's a sidewalk in front of there's sidewalk islands. Like doing that at first and then in a few years adding into the existing, replacing the existing sidewalks. And I know with like the curb replacements and stuff, there's a lot of newer sidewalks that are being done. But I think like the island makes sense to start it that way. Because the sidewalks are expensive. And like, But also, if you're walking in certain neighborhoods with your dog, and then the sidewalk stops, you gotta go out on the road, and then go back on the sidewalk through somebody's yard, and it just, that part makes sense. And then I also like the rentals part, even if, like, I would say that it has to be a primary residence.
Or at least they score higher, right? So,
Yeah,
you know, primary residence would get it before an equally scored rental. Yeah.
yeah.
But they, I mean, the rentals could still get it. It's just
Well,
they
it's
would
the
be scored
property
one
owner
set
doing
down.
it at the property that they rent out, but somebody still lives there.
Well, yeah, but we're saying like your
Yeah, I'm
primary
saying
residence.
because like if you've got 50 rental properties and that's your business, like
you
you
know,
should be maintaining your business kind of thing. But I guess if there's not a sidewalk there, it's not a maintenance issue. It's really a transportation for a residence.
but it would only not get like that +1 or whatever. So they would still be eligible. It's just, you know, they wouldn't get a bonus point or whatever, something like that for scoring. I don't know. Again, it was just a rough draft, first run at it. So
I would agree with you, what you said in the email, that Dewar, Lowry, and Phillip, those are all areas that need to be tied into the sidewalks, and they're not.
yeah.
Ben, calling on your memory, wasn't there a time frame that they actually, the village made it a rule that everybody's gonna have sidewalks? And then
Yeah.
they started putting them in, and
Yeah.
then there was a neighborhood revolt, and they all ran for council, and then they all got on council, and then they all
Killed it.
Then they killed it.
I mean,
Is my memory too far off on that?
Exactly. I mean,
Okay.
it is- yeah. it's
So,
exactly how-
and there's some neighborhoods that we just can't mandate sidewalks at the time because there's no curb drain, like Norris, you couldn't.
Yeah, see, that would have to be a council decision because.
You'd have to
it was
rework
new
the whole road.
construction, So it,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it should have been put in, so,
But it wasn't,
no.
because some of the water, or the runoff for that runs back between houses and hits.
Yeah, back to
Yeah,
your.
we've got a catch basin in our backyard that runs, then it goes under our property, hits that creek over there. But, yeah, because there's no, there's no storm drain on Norris, is there? Really?
No, everything runs back behind.
Yeah.
So we're ultimately looking at this to be,
It's voluntary.
yeah, but for updating this attachment and being ready for real time before the next council meeting, because this would come back as another reading at the next council meeting, right?
Right.
So you're looking for us to really fine tune this and provide our review and comments, and then have some type of expert look at it, I guess, to make sure we're not missing something.
By expert, we mean Lene, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we do. Yep.
as far as the carryover money, I think we should just budget the 50,000
And just add
every
to
year
it.
and just add to it. So
Yeah.
like if we don't get it, the way that I guess I figured was like if we don't get it done this year, we'll have 100,000 next year, which is just
Right.
more sidewalks, which honestly would probably make it a little bit less if we're like, hey, we've got 102, basically like if it's half of the sidewalk cost, let's just imagine, that's not what's real, but if we're paying 50% of sidewalks, we're saying to a contractor, we've got $200,000 for sidewalks, like, I mean, that's a lot of money for sidewalks, we're probably gonna do it a little bit cheaper even, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the more you have, the more competitive the bid. And if somehow we're able to work it in with our paving curb, for instance, for people that don't want to do their curbs, we'll have a lot more, I think, of curb next year. So all that together should create a pretty good competitive bid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
So if I'm hearing you correctly, we'll take your input to modify the current legislation and bring it back to you for your review. Is that correct?
I would see if anyone, I looked at what you sent, but I haven't had a chance to make any comments or anything. I think let's give us a couple days for
Sure.
us to see if we have any
Sure.
comments to throw out there. Throw it back to Scott, and then he can ultimately update it, and then we'll get it over to you to get to Lynette.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, no, the timeline's yours. So by the end of the week, and then ultimately we'll incorporate whatever your final draft is into the legislation and send it back to you for your review.
I feel like if we get it as good as we can this year, it'll be refined over future years.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
And that's kind of what I was thinking, is like, just we beta test like our
Get it
forms,
rolling.
right? It's like, because sometimes you run into those things where you're like, oh, wow, I did not foresee,
Sure.
that happening.
Sure.
So it allows us, if we get started right away doing it the way we plan to do it.
Where the resolution says the council does not enforce the installation of sidewalks during construction of new houses, are we still not? Is that something that we want to?
I'll have to look up case law. I'm sure there's case law out there where they've had to enforce it if it's in the best interest of village. So I'll just look that up for you and get that to you.
Okay.
Is that something that would be in the zoning?
It would be, I don't think it's in our zoning code off the top of my head. I don't remember seeing that in there.
I don't either.
So,
All right. So that might be something
Thanks
to
for
look
doing
at
that.
also. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
All right, next is the council goals and priorities.
Thank you, Mayor. Two of you have gotten me your completed priorities and goals scoring sheet.
No, three.
If-
I have mine,
Okay.
I have mine as well.
That's wonderful. I appreciate it. What we'll do is last year, once I've got all of them, we'll compile them, give you some analysis and bring them back to you. And of course, I'll also provide, I've done my score sheet to show you how my perspective compares to yours before I've seen all yours. So we'll have that, if not the next council meeting, the next workshop. Is that all right?
That works.
I had a tie for,
I had a lot of ties, honestly.
so there was one tie I had
Well,
for
I
number
had a lot of
2, so,
And I
sorry.
was, like, a lot of these,
I'm not
like,
surprised.
economic development.
You gotta make the hard decisions.
Also goes into the
I just think
industrial
26
part.
or 25 is too many. I think, I don't know, just for.
Some of them are
Well,
no.
I can make it less, and then you can add your own.
I say just take our responses, see what you make of it, if you
Sure.
can decipher what we
No,
have. And
from my perspective, it's very helpful. I understand where each of you individually, and then once we do it comparatively, there's a collective. So this gives staff some direction on where we're putting our priorities and our time. All right?
All right.
Should I move on?
Yep, old business, code enforcement update.
Chief, did you have a code enforcement update to give the council, please?
Did you forward that out, Mr. Sheridan?
I believe I did. I sent the email of your written
So,
report.
I know you'd ask once a month to kind of know where we are. I gave you an overall as to where we stand for this year. We've sent out a little more than, right around 130 letters. We identified 8 more properties yesterday. There's a couple of big properties in town that we're going to start looking at, like we did some others. One property in particular has resolved itself. It took us about 18 to 20 months to get it resolved. I didn't think it'd ever come to an end, but it has, for now, resolved itself. The property got sold. A developer, or not a developer, but a contractor has bought it. He has reached out to Mr. Sheridan. I don't know if they've had an opportunity to talk yet, but he is interested in bringing the property up to code, and so that's going to be a plus for us because it is a property that we've been mowing for the last probably 5 years. So that'll take care of itself, and that's going to be a good thing. Like I said, there's a couple other properties. So we have like 100, we've sent out around 130 letters this year, and we're at about 84% compliance. And when I say that, that's people that have either, we went out, they just didn't contact us, but they fixed the problem, or they've contacted us and said, I'm working with it, they've gotten part of it done, but they're still working to get it completed, or they've done the whole thing. We have a few that have done nothing. We're going to be sending out second letters to them and letting them know that this is your last chance before we move forward. And we have one person in particular that we're going to probably, well, we're for a fact this week going to send a final notice to that person to cease what they're doing, or we're going to cite them into court. We have not cited anyone this year. We did cite only a couple people last year. Overall, since we have taken over in the police department side, code enforcement, I think we've only cited about 5 people over the period of 3 years. which is pretty good. We've got a better than 90% compliance, which I think is great. A lot of the folks, it's just education, I'll be honest with you. You'll call them, or they'll call in and they'll want to know, or they'll say, I didn't understand that was a problem, but I will fix that. Others don't understand what you're wanting done. We go out, explain it to them. Oh yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'll take care of that problem. So we've had, for the most part this year, most people are very polite and want to fix the issues. We've addressed anything from trimming bushes to mowing. Josh Horn has done a great job with the mowing. Josh kind of keeps track of that himself and lets us know if there's an issue with the mowing. So Josh is the one that handles all the mowing stuff, but we've addressed bushes, weeds, travel trailers, utility trailers, boats, fences, sheds, barns, all those kind of things that we're needing addressed.
Thanks for doing that. I know it's a lot of work, and you got several different folks that are involved in it,
Yes.
so
That
that's
was an
great.
outstanding update.
We did some things this year. We've changed it around a little bit. Megan Shaw, who's in the water department, has taken over kind of keeping track of them for us, and she does a great job putting it on a spreadsheet and keeping Lieutenant Stevens and myself on task as to, okay, this is when we sent these letters out, here's the ones that you need to go check on. So she's done a great job in keeping those together. I think we've done a better job this year than we have in years past, but we also have now had several years of educating people, and I think we haven't sent near the letters out this year that we've sent out in years past.
So I got a question about two different areas, and then a question too for Manager Sheridan. So I've noticed more and more, the more I drive around, I really am trying to pay particular attention to some areas. Some areas seem like they're, or look like they're water retention area, or they're very rocky and hard to get to. I also see you there by Riverside Cemetery on 571, coming up there, approaching the old West Milton Inn. A lot of, high weeds and brush and so forth. Is that village responsibility? Is that part of the cemetery responsibility? Those areas.
Which side of the guardrail is it on, to be honest with you?
So it's on the, if you're coming into town, it's on the right-hand side when you're coming into town.
Is it on the street side of the guardrail or the other side?
On the other side, yeah.
Generally, I think ODOT takes care of 571.
Yeah.
Jim, his guy is a sprayer that goes around and, we spray all the right-of-ways and stuff throughout the year. Jim does a great job with those. That's not an area, I think, I know he does spray on the south side of the roadway because I've seen him do it.
Yeah, he'll do both sides actually, just because ODOT, basically now that we're
Yeah.
incorporated, they won't touch it.
Okay.
But we can take a look at that to go in.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to spray that's something that's definitely within the right of way. We don't like to get out of the right of way even a little bit, just because we're killing, stuff.
Right.
What about the area there, like going from Milton Potsdam, the Haskett connector? You got all that area there that's behind the ball field, that's up around the sidewalk that
That's
has,
county.
that is county?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a real touch area right there. We get complaints sometimes in that area that we can't address because it's not in the village.
Okay. Understand. I know when, and I missed the very beginning portion, so I didn't get a chance to ask him, but I knew that Mr. Kaufman was looking for a new lawn care service that was going to take care of the mowing and weed eating and so forth out there. I see there's some areas that are getting pretty high again. So has he responded? Does he have someone new that's going out there? Has he got that under control yet?
I'm not aware that he has anyone new. More of the discussion lately has centered on looking for other options for HOA management, and we're trying to get a meeting set up on that.
Okay. All right, no problem. Sounds good. Thank you.
Sure.
Should I go on?
Yep.
Chief, does anyone know of the Red Barn? What is the status of the Red Barn?
That's one of our problems.
It's one of our problem areas. That's one of those two
That's the
that I was
next
talking about.
priority.
Yeah.
So I just have a random question, and I just want to throw it out there. I was talking to somebody yesterday who has like a code enforcement issue, and she's got a lot of high weeds, and her house needs painted. And she's working on it. But she's older, and she's getting family to help. I know we were just calling for like sponsors for a park, but like it would be awesome, I think, if we could get like some teams together to just do like some volunteer for some of these people. Like,
So every summer, and it hasn't occurred this year, but Mr. Swartzstrauber has someone who contacts him, and we've had this happen at least the last 4 or 5 years, where a group comes in and cleans up targeted properties where people just, they're usually older and can't get to it.
yeah.
I can check with him to see if he's had contact with those folks. That's someone that he had a contact with. I know that they fixed probably 5 properties the last time they were here. They went in and cut down, trimmed trees, cut down all the high brush, and cleaned up the yard. They only come do it once, and then it's on the family to try to keep it under control.
Yeah, like, I mean, just stuff, I mean, I'm willing to even spearhead that if there's like, just help. I mean, we can talk about this later too, but like, just because I know a lot of people that have lived in their houses for years and years and years, they've been paid off for years and years and years, and the option is, you know.
Well, man, there's some houses on our street that, I know some older folks on fixed incomes, and it's a $125, $150 mow job. And you start mowing 4 times a month, well, you just sucked up half of
Their
a
income.
fixed income.
I mean, even just
and-
painting, like, a gallon of paint's $60.
Right.
And it takes a lot, and I'm not saying that like.
I know we've had
these things don't need
several-
done, But I'm willing, like, I'm more than willing if there's other people that want to follow that, like, I'm not handy, but like, at all. But like, I'm willing to like spearhead if there's, you know, situations where they're just like, I can't do this, it's overwhelming, it's embarrassing, whatever it is, like, I mean, we've got 38 churches here.
Right, I was going to say that might be something to get the council of churches together
Yeah,
with the youth, as a youth project.
Yeah, I mean, just something that like, maybe that means like mowing the neighbor's yard or something, I don't know, it's just, it kind of broke my heart. She luckily had family that's able to help her, but like, it's
I
just.
think I know what you're talking about, because they've been working on it.
They're working on it, and they're doing a great job.
We went by yesterday, and they had really done a lot of work on that property.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, and the alternative is, so do I sell my house and then I have to pay rent, or I don't have to pay rent now, you know? And I just this is just on my heart, like, if we could, you know, I'm willing to spearhead that or whatever, like.
Let me talk to Mr. Swartzstrauber first and see what he knows, or if he knows the contact of these folks. If they do, and you're willing to do that, we would appreciate that, because that would be something that we could offer to some of the folks that call in, because we have some that call in and they just want a little bit of time. We work with them.
Yeah.
We've never denied someone. You know, we try to be as easy to work with as possible, as long as they're showing some improvement, and sometimes it's a financial problem, and we get that. They can only do so much this month, and they got to do so much next month. At least if we're seeing some progress, then, you know, we're pretty lenient. It's when we don't get progress is when we have to become a little more stern.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's fair.
I think we should go old school, and we have a chief round up all the rowdy hooligans, bring them into mayor's court, and then the mayor takes them out and performs civic duty.
100%.
I know, or even a lot of times, the high school students have to do so many community
Right.
service
Yeah.
hours.
Most of it's civic projects, yeah.
So I don't know if, do you have any contacts at school that, or do you know graduating seniors? I don't know.
It used to be run by, I believe, Dana Dickinson.
Well,
And then I think Andy
Andy,
Grudich took it
yeah.
over, but now they're both retired.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's.
So just throw the next Andy under the bus, Andy Graham.
Yeah.
We had a thing, I was looking to see if I had it. When we first started talking about this 3 or 4 years ago, I feel like it's a little trifold piece of paper that a community church organization, someone had given us or these people that needed help that they were willing to offer. Scott Fogle, do you have that?
I do. I probably do. Let me look through my binders. I just had to clean them out because my wife is turning my office area into the baby's room.
So
she's
I have-
because that is not our intention. You
Right.
know, like you said,
Absolutely.
you only had to file 5, civil cases. That's not the intention. Just trying to give people that push that this is important, and
I agree.
neighbors, kind of want that from each other, and something that we're trying to help people with, not punish.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know where that is.
I mowed
That's just-
yesterday.
The future with the red barn.
We kind of
Yes, sir.
tree branch.
So I'm assuming that it's not in a repairable condition, that ultimately it probably would be something to where down the road it would end
That's,
up.
I honestly couldn't say at this moment because we've not met. I've only talked to the lady that owns it. There's 2 ladies that own it. I've only talked to them one time. They live just outside of town. And I went to talk to them and they weren't super happy. I was even there to talk to them because I think they've just kind of given up on the place, it seems like, because I've not seen any activity there whatsoever. So I'm going to have to reach back out to them, the lieutenant and I will, and see what their intentions happen to be, try to have a conversation with them and see what they intend to do and move forward from there. We'll treat them like we have the others. Like I said, the one property took a long time. I was glad to see it come to an end. However, it's not fixed. It
Right.
just sold. So
Yeah.
we still have the same problem we had before. It's just a new owner. Now we have to, the clock kind of starts over because we got to give him some opportunities to get the property into compliance. So that's what we're waiting on doing there. And I know he did reach out to Mr. Sheridan, that he did reach back to him, and there was I think they played a little phone tag, and he just did buy the property within the last 3 weeks, I believe, is when he closed on it. So,
Thanks.
sure.
Next is the zoning code update. Mr. Sheridan.
I met with Choice One staff. As you may recall, we got the zoning code update approximately 75% complete. It's probably 18 or 24 months ago when Choice One lost their planner. That put the project on hold. They've not hired another planner, but I met with Mr. Schuman and we spent a couple hours going over the most recent draft, and we're confident that between the 2 of us, we can bring it to completion. It is a little bit complicated in that the planning board that started the process, none of those members are still on the planning board. So I would ask, if I'm correct, and if Andy and I can get it to that point, if perhaps Mr. Fogel would be willing to help us with the planning board, because we're going to have to explain to them what we're doing, how we got to this point, and it'll all be brand new to none of them because they weren't around when the process started. So you were very involved in getting that update. I think you could be very helpful. I know it's a commitment of time, but I think between the 3 of us, if you're willing, in a matter of 3 or 4 months, I would hope, we can finish it up. The planning board, the process is, according to the charter, the planning board would make a recommendation once it's in final form to the council for approval, and it would come back to you for consideration of adopting it as the new zoning code.
Yeah, I kept all of that
I knew you would.
documentation, so.
I knew you would.
I just went through it the other night when I was cleaning out, and I did talk to my neighbor who was on planning board with me,
Okay.
and we went through everything together.
Great.
Several evenings, so
we will
I'll talk
take-
to her to see if
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll
maybe
take
wanna
a
help
couple of
out a bit.
volunteers if you're willing. I'll take all the help we can get, but that would be great.
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
good. Count me in.
We do, and we have an applicant. The young man, as you may recall, we had appointed a young lady to the Board of Adjustments, and her husband is interested in serving on the planning board. So I'll get you a copy of his resume, and if you're interested, we can put it on the next council meeting to appoint him if you're so inclined.
All right, yeah, for sure.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Those positions get paid too, right? Board of Adjustments and.
I
$25 a
assume they
meeting.
get something, but
Yeah,
not very
it's
much.
25.
There
We
you
get
go.
$25 a meeting, and maybe
Correct.
we can also
Oh,
increase
no, no.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was wondering. if we should
Especially, yeah.
Do it all at once.
Probably
And
look at
since
all
those
the
meetings
pay
aren't aired, Bring your
schedules.
kids if you got them, you know. If that's the difference between you coming and being part of it or not.
Like, I will
Sure.
make dinner for planning board, like, what do we need to do? It's a really good time. It's a couple hours a month.
One day a
I
month.
can also, I'm sorry,
Literally, it's just one day a month. I mean, you don't, like, planning board, board of
if we
adjustments.
can get a quorum, you're right, one day a
Yeah,
month.
really don't have, because you've been on both. and
Both,
Dan's been
yeah.
on both, and I've been on both. You really don't have extra work outside of those.
Well, I think ultimately, in its true form, there would be more of an active role. if
There
it
could
really
be.
got up to speed to what it's.
Yeah.
Because in
But you
theory,
need to go out and
have
look at the
property.
variances.
Yeah,
You need to go out and look at the properties before, so you're clued into what they're requesting and.
I think some of the mandate for that too is to be forward looking with the village
Absolutely.
and like some of the things we do in looking into this is really falls into the realm of.
According to the
planning.
charter, the planning board is your primary advisory organization on all changes and growth in the village.
Like they would be the one driving the
Comp plan.
court, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be a more active thing than it has evolved down
We're
to.
trying, but the biggest obstacle holding it back is turnover.
Yeah.
If I may, the project on paving the parking lot between Hamilton and Miami Street, 2 of the 5 property owners have contacted me and verbally agreed to participate and pay their share.
Excellent.
So that leaves 3, I believe, 3 others that I haven't heard from yet.
So it's only 5 total?
There's 5 or 6 that I think make up all, Bendy, is it?
5, I think.
I thought it was 5. Now, there was a 6th one on the letter that went out, a very small piece, and that property owner contacted me, and in fact, he does not own it. It belongs to somebody else who's one of the 5. There was a residential property that fronts Main Street that it appeared a small piece of the parking lot went with that parcel. It did not. It goes with one of the other owners. So once we got that straightened out, he was off the hook in terms of any financial requirements. But 2 of the 5 have called me. I didn't have to follow up with them, which I thought was great.
Excellent. Yep.
So Dustin with Edward Jones, when Sarah probably still here, so a couple of years ago, when they all came in and talked about the parking lot, and Dustin with Edward Jones said that he's like, I'll spearhead it. So he called me yesterday and I gave him Ben's number. I don't know if he called you today.
He may have left me I got a couple of messages.
Okay, because he has talked to the property owners as well, and
Great.
he said like paving versus resurfacing. I'm like, I don't know. I said, that's a Ben question, but I gave him your number to call you
Yeah.
because he's talked to the property owners, I believe.
Good.
Because he's trying to spearhead that because he agrees with the parking lot. I mean, he's
Sure.
a financial advisor, he wants to know his parking lot, makes sense. And so, yeah, I can ask him to give you another call.
Yeah, I think I had 2 or 3 messages I haven't got to yet.
That's fine.
He was probably one of them, I'm assuming.
I can't imagine that you're busy then.
No, not really.
Now on that paving, the alley between the post office and the alley coming, but that's also the village right away and what looks like partly like parking lot going up to the sidewalk, right?
Lavender Alley runs north and south. The other is ours, but it doesn't show that on the county GIS. And it doesn't have a name. Am I right, Ben?
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no, Lavender has a name. The other one we've just always called Post Office Alley. Like,
But going up to the sidewalk that runs between the buildings, that looks like it's an extension of the alley on the county GIS. Which would be ours, right?
the alley itself, and then it comes out to Lavender, so like the alley will come out at 12 feet, I believe, from the stop sign, and then goes north.
But like on here, it looks like it's right away, all the way up to the sidewalk. See what I'm talking about, Jim? Like this is the alley, but then this is all one continuous piece all the way
Yes,
up.
yeah, that's the no-name alley. That if you click on it, though, the county doesn't show who owns it. Where you click on Lavender, we own it.
Well, I would say when in doubt, let's call it ours and do it.
That's fine.
That's one less piece to argue with someone
I
else about.
second.
That's, I think that was our intent, but
I
I was
thought-
trying to clarify
I thought
the
this was
ownership.
our right of way all the way across.
It may be, it just, but the county just doesn't have it show that on the GIS. There's several properties that everybody believes we own, and I think we do, but the county doesn't classify it, doesn't list it as our property.
Because like that, to me, there's parking spots that are clearly in what
Yeah.
I would call,
Yeah,
I would assume it's village right of way.
Where are you at exactly? So like, here's the post office alley.
Right,
And
follow,
here's Lavender. Like,
right there.
right in here.
I'm just gonna bring my iPad and show you.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Laser pointer.
It's right.
Well, it makes more sense than seeing where the property lines are.
No, yeah, it does.
Is it okay to go on and then come back to this?
So, do you
It's
Okay.
me.
All right, is there any new business?
all that space
I
there?
have no business.
I didn't ask for old business.
I mean, it can be new. Totally not, it can be new.
Is there any new business? Seeing none, is there any old
Like where
business?
that park is?
Yes.
That's-
For the comprehensive land use plan,
Okay.
do we have a timeline on the completion for that?
The original timeline was just trying to do 2 or 3 chapters a year because of the budget. I have an update meeting tomorrow at 10 with them, so I hope to finish up, look at the chapters that yet to be done and put together a timeline to get it done.
Okay, do we have a planning board now, or do we need more members?
We're 1 member short on the planning.
So we've got a resume.
I said that earlier.
Yes, so we're doing good. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
The bathrooms in the park? That new
Hopefully,
building?
I don't have the for sure delivery date yet, but we're in December, early January is the last update that I got.
Okay.
We'll have everything ready. We're gonna just prep it this fall, just so it's ready for the building, so.
That's fantastic. And then you gave us the downtown strategies, the partnership onboarding form.
Right, I was going to do that under new business. I just want, this is the form that I was sent to complete to get the process started. And as I reviewed it, it made sense to me that it has to have input from you as much as me personally. So I gave you all a copy and would ask that fill up as much of it as you want, and I'll try to pull that together. But most of it is fairly succinct, very short answers, and, just a list of 2 or 3 items. But without talking to anybody from Retail Strategies, it made sense to me that it was more a group effort in terms of completing it as opposed to one individual.
For the quarantine members, do you see that as village employees? Are you seeing that as council members?
My understanding of what little conversations I've had with Retail Strategies is that's entirely up to us. It's whoever we think are the most important persons to be involved in the process. Now, those core members are going to be, there's some time commitment, and, you're involved from beginning to end. Is that accurate, Counselor? What's your understanding?
I can find that out. I mean,
Please,
I'm
please,
willing to
please
do
confirm that.
I would hope we have a couple from council to see it through and a couple of stakeholders
Yeah,
from downtown.
yes.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I thought Megan Hall, she loves our town.
Are we not
She's
having
on
some
staff
type of
here.
subcommittee that's going to be involved in this?
It's up
as
to
well?
you.
Yeah.
That would be the subcommittee. So like you could be on it. So like me and you could do it, and then like,
Well, I know that Casey's really engaged in that too, so.
We could flip a coin, Scott.
No.
No,
We can
yeah,
have
I
three.
am.
You-
That's the reason
I
I
say-
decided to
Yeah, she
rerun
just owned
for
it.
council.
I say you
That's
two,
it.
I'm good with you two
Well, it can be
taking and
three.
running with it.
There is.
And if you want me to help, I'll help.
From the meeting that Dan and I had with them, it was just one thing I took from it. It was like, say they had an action plan, then it would be a new sign in the park, let's say. And so whoever's on the committee, it's like, then you're in charge of calling the guy. And it's like, Dan, if you know about the fence, then you're in charge of contacting this man that splits wood and builds fences. So it's just putting something on each person. Then when you came back next month, you have to have your information, you had to have yours, and we all have to do our part.
I would take it a step further. If one of the councilmen wants to be the primary contact in the core, that's fine. This is a big commitment, and I'm certainly willing to do it if you want me to do it, but I've got plenty of other commitments. If someone else wants to be the primary and
it'd be
I'm
great
not
if-
in the core, that makes sense to me.
I'm willing to do that.
But it's your call.
I think it sounds really fun because I'm a total nerd.
Well, I think that's your decision. I just didn't want to move forward with filling
I
it
vote we
out.
volunteer Sarah.
I would like to see if anyone, I volunteer, Sarah.
Yeah,
If
sounds like a great idea.
anyone on the village
Fine.
staff is just interested, like maybe someone has
Sure.
like a really, I don't know, interest in this kind of thing. And we don't know that about them, and they also.
I can start asking around, and so Sarah, you'll take over as the primary contact. I certainly can be involved. I'm not saying that, but just not taking primary responsibility, and I'll ask if Megan or some of the others want to be involved as well.
And I like the idea, maybe 3 business owners
That'd be great.
downtown.
I
mean,
think that'd be
look at
important.
someone,
They said they were gonna hold a meeting with the stakeholders, so I think that will.
that would be great, because I think Jim Sarver would be,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it'd be an excellent option, yeah.
And I mean,
sorry,
I'm sure
sorry,
that we
Jim.
don't have this filled out.
No, you're not.
100%
Volunteered you.
exact
No, you're not.
Perfect, that they're not gonna come back and be like, but you said 2 years ago on this board.
Right.
So like, I mean, they seem pretty flexible and like,
Go on.
So then would you be filling out the form? Or Jeff?
I would say Sarah do it, and
Yeah.
just make sure when you're done, run it by Jeff to make sure we're not doing anything outside our scope or legality, and.
That's fine.
Because as I'm looking through this form, I think Jeff's right. I think the people on the committee would be the ones to really dial that in.
Yeah. And
And
since
I
you got
can-
that passion.
I can be involved, but
that's
just not the
important.
lead. if that's-
Yeah, no. Yeah, the retail strategy.
So
All right.
is this the downtown
Can
part?
let's open it up, because did someone come to speak tonight?
Yes.
All right, why don't you go ahead and come up and speak, and then we can get back into this.
All right, thank you.
oh, thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name's Gerald Green, I live at 1105 South Main. I emailed everyone here on this council.
Yep.
Ben, you already have it up for me, I appreciate that, sir. Okay, I've lived there for 15 plus years. There's a drainage problem, as I stated in my email. Okay, initially, the gentleman at 13 Mapleview Court, at the bottom of the screen there, is that him? And the gentleman that used to rent 143 Emmerich, which is the house directly behind mine right there, that Dennis pointing to.
You're which one again now?
I'm 1105 South
Okay.
Main. He's right here. Yeah, I'm right there on the corner. Ben and Mr. Sheridan have been out to my property a couple of times.
McGuffey's used to have your house?
Pardon me, sir?
McGuffey's lived there before you?
No.
Who lived there before that?
Hisson. Yeah, it was Cindy Hisson.
Okay.
And it was an aunt of hers prior to that, and I bought it from them. But as I was stating, we put a French drain in the gentleman's backyard at 13 Mapleview and ran black corrugated pipe into the side of the storm drain on the Emmerich side of my road out there on my corner. And pretty much, we're still having the issue. I believe it generates at the farmhouse at 151 Emmerich. This farmhouse has some type of cellar or basement, and they're pumping their water through my own internal investigation that I did into some kind of a drain culvert that's on this other side of the property at 13 Mapleview. And there's either that drain cannot handle the amount of water they're pumping out, or there's some kind of a crack in the drain
system or it's clogged. Because once they sit there and start pumping out their basement or cellar, whatever they have, an hour later, my yard's flooded. And every time we have these hardened rains like we're having this year, everybody's property down through there turns into swamp. Mine gets the worst end of it. Okay. Now, the problem with all this is right now I've already addressed the issue at 143 Emery on its poor condition in that same email.
Yep.
I'm sure you're looking into that, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, sir.
We've been in contact with the homeowner and the contractor. Apparently, the contractor came back and fell through the roof. He came back to fix it and fell through the roof, and he's back out injured. He was hoping to have his portion done and get out of there. He was wanting to be finished. So the other things that you addressed, we'll be making sure those get handled. There's no reason you can't clean that up.
Appreciate that, Chief. Sure. But the problem is this water flow that goes down through these backyards from that drain and 151, that stems from 151, from them pumping out. I mean, like I said, it's decaying and destroying yards, and yeah.
You're on the corner there, right?
Yes, sir.
You were a big sheet of ice last winter, right?
That is
there.
correct, back during the winter.
Yeah, I remember seeing
I
that.
thought there was a spring that pops up in
Well,
one of the
most
back.
of West Milton has natural springs that
Yeah,
run.
I can remember, I think it was your backyard used to be, used to have a big problem with water right along the fence line where it actually just went out to the street from there for a number of years. And I'm thinking it's pre-you because I'm going way back in the way back machine.
You're probably talking back in the Hissoms, because the house was, my house was actually the model home in 71 for that end of the subdivision. So, and I believe Cindy Hissom's aunt was the initial original owner. But my point is, if 151 continues pumping their water out, okay, all it's going to keep doing as it dries, like my yard, I cut the grass this evening before I came up here, because once I'm done here, I got to go back home, grab what I need, and go to work. But if they continue, as my yard's trying to dry out, an hour later, like I said, my yard is a swamp, and all this water drains, okay? And I've addressed this with the city manager and Ben. I understand their outlook on things, that they can't do anything directly, but if the problem is, if it's stemming from 151, we've got to have some kind of a recourse in addressing this to all these properties affected. Because if not, then we have an issue then with how the law is interpreted on this. Because I've looked at the water drainage issue that the city manager applied to me, gave me a copy of, and I've looked it up, and I've looked up, and a lot of this is also based on interpretation. And being the law director, you know that better than anybody. But how everybody sees this is in a different perspective. My perspective is, I've been doing what I can. Okay? Now I'm going to put in, I have the black corrugated pipe, but I can't touch my yard until it's properly drained out and dry. And with how the weather's been, I can't touch it. I can't go rent a trencher. I have the funds set aside to rent the trencher. I have the corrugated pipe. I have 4 drain basins where I'm going to tie in on the side of my house where the black corrugated pipe initially ran from the first drainage project that we did. So I'm going to correct this now. When I go in and I fill in the low level areas of my yard, how it affects other people's yard is not my concern or problem.
Have you thought about, instead of doing the long tile, doing, they call them vertical tiles? They
they go down, they put gravel in, and then they just recap it with the sod plug back over top of it. But they basically take a post hole digger, dig down,
Right.
fill it with gravel. I don't know if they put a piece of pipe in it or not, but then,
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I
I don't
don't-
think that would really be beneficial outside of doing, like the French drain that I'm
right,
looking
right,
at doing.
French drain's the other thing I was thinking.
Right, the French drain style is what I'm going to do,
Okay.
but I just came up here to speak my mind and say my piece on this.
Have you talked to does anyone talk to the property owner at 151? They're nice folks. I mean,
Yeah, I've talked to Viets, and initially they told me when I talked to the lady, she told me that when they were running the water out, I believe toward the street, apparently, I don't know who from the city had contacted them, that was a problem. Okay? Then they routed it back over to this other drain that's in the back of 13, Ben?
Yeah.
He has that drain culvert over there, some kind
Where at 13 Meadowbrook or
Mapleview.
Mapleview? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have anything back
There's
there.
something there because that's where they're running it to. Because I've talked to
Okay.
Bill, that's the homeowner.
So Bill Byrne back there?
Yeah.
So they live right here, right?
Yeah,
So all we have is.
there's some kind of a drain
In the back?
basin or.
Is it in the
Honestly,
back?
It's
is
a
it-
concrete of.
Is it in the backyard?
Yeah, it's in the backyard.
I think they went together, like, back around when Cindy's aunt was there and put something in because.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
been back there for like 1,000 years. I know it wasn't done since.
Was
I've
it
been
done
here,
when the
but-
subdivision was built?
Tim and I went out there
It could have
maybe a
been.
couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
The lady thought it was the villages, and
Right.
Tim knew that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a concrete, and it had a metal lid on it, and
Right.
she or her husband was doing something with the fence and tripped and was upset because she thought it was part of the village infrastructure. And,
That's the reason I asked if it was in the back, 'cause I
yes,
remember
yes, and
that.
Tim, you weren't around, and Tim came over and said, no,
Yeah.
that's from a long
Yeah.
time ago, and it's private, has nothing to do with the village,
Mhm.
does not
Yeah.
run into any of our system.
Somebody else put that in.
Yes,
Right
but
in.
you're absolutely right, I know exactly what you're talking
Back
about.
here somewhere. in
Yeah,
that-
it's along, it would be our left side, Ben.
Oh, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be toward probably the west side of the property.
okay, so back.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And I think that, we don't know for sure, but actually, that one could go out, depending on when they put it in, it could go either way.
Right, I don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
But,
Is it, and this is just sump pump water?
Spring.
It's spring, but it's aggravate, like, he gets spring water 9 months out of the year probably. or more.
it depends on, part of it is, like, we've had an exceptionally wet spring and summer. We all
Yeah, yeah.
know this, okay? I know the springs, but when we have these downpours of rains, it aggravates it, like what Ben was talking
No,
about.
the springs fill up too.
Yeah, and the water has no place to go except for the path of least resistance. And when that happens, like I said, it affects 147, 143, it affects mine, it affects the one to the south of mine, and it affects 13 Mapleview. I mean, all these yards.
Yeah, like this from,
Yeah.
this is.
I mean, Ben, you kind of know the flow of it as well as I do.
Yeah, it's natural, like this, I guess that spring probably ran before the plat was built. I
Mhm.
think the water's just always went that way.
Right.
And the rock level is so shallow there,
Mhm.
it has no place to
Right.
go, so.
And I mean, I've currently brought in some number 4 limestone that I'm running along back my fence line against 143 to slow it and filter it
Mhm.
in an effort to slow it down. That way my yard will hopefully dry out a little quicker and easier so I can get my drain project done to accomplish what I want. So my property doesn't get any more, I'll say, destroyed from this problem.
Crazy thing is, if you build it up, if you don't drain it away like you're talking about doing it properly, it just puts the problem to somebody else's property. You know, if you,
Oh, that's what's gonna happen.
so where does the bulk of the spring come up at then, Ben?
I mean, this hole, so like you probably, it's kind of tied in, but back in here where the old fish hatcheries, so that spring's been coming like from the hatcheries over to his property and probably farther south for 1,000 years, so I think, I mean, this one is one of the 2 or 3 that just never dry up. So it's just, that spring just runs nonstop, so I think what he's saying is when this property here, I mean, they start pumping out, it just makes it.
Because there's a spring on Dead Rock too that pops up right in someone's basement there.
Yeah.
And like my whole childhood, they just had 2 feet of water in the basement. I mean, it just, and then when they did try to do something with it, they just pumped it out on the street, and then that became a problem. Because you can't do that, because then it just freezes in the winter.
So, yeah, what do people do when there's a natural spring? I mean, what?
I mean, we talked about, so like, I think what you're looking at is with your tile being able to capture it and then pipe it to basically our catch basin.
Right, on the
closest
Emory
basin,
side,
which is Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it
This
should be
one.
that one right there. Because
so
it's already going to it.
he's gonna give the spring water a place to go, but it's gonna be hard for him because he's he's trying to capture the spring water, but then he's also taking, times 5 of maybe water that's being pumped out from the west of him. So,
Now that hits our storm sewer system then?
all of it does eventually. I mean, when he gets the flows he's talking about, mainly that it runs naturally through here, and then it just jumps the curve and just fills this whole area up until it gets down to that basin right there.
Since Choice One is our engineering partner for the village, is there anything that they can be involved in to look at this, to give any suggestions, or
Private
is it not?
property.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the problem is that, I mean, not to make light of his situation, but right now, this spring, there's tons of properties flooding, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we always want to try to be as helpful as we can, but to what point?
So,
We have
years
other
ago,
properties.
before, he's been there 15 years, has this always been a problem?
Yeah, when Cindy was there, I know I met with Cindy a few times, and then during the transition, I swear, before she moved in, I met with somebody there. But we've talked to like all the property owners, that's kind of where that tile behind started. But the issue with that is the tile that's not on his property, he can't maintain it, and it gets filled with silt and stuff if it's not cleaned regularly. And then all that he's gonna have to drain his property is the drains he's gonna be putting in when it dries out. So it would basically take all the neighbors to have some kind of plan to keep that existing one clean and try to reduce some flows and
How do you clean it?
just jet it,
Yeah.
just jet it out, maybe.
Yeah. Or you can just like go to a basic tool company, rent one of the eels.
Yeah.
With the larger heads on it, it'll blow it out.
But that's not our village responsibility, that's the homeowners that live
Right.
back there.
Well, they put that in.
We don't have anything that small. I mean, our jet would
So
tear that thing apart probably, so.
we had a plumbing issue that they said couldn't be fixed because without having this whole thing tore out. We went on Amazon and bought one of these jets that you put down and attach it to a power washer. And our stuff's never drained better, and I think we were $50 into it, and we'd spent a couple grand with plumbers. I mean, I don't know if something like that could be utilized with something like that clean.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the best thing to do is to get something small, like a smaller jet. I mean, ours is 4,000 PSI, but I mean, if you get something more residential, commercial, to try to drag the silt out and stuff, you get it open, and as long as you maintain it, it'll run forever.
So every so many years, you need to be.
Probably every year.
Well, I know the French drain that was put in about 10, 12 years ago, that the drain basins, Bill's property at 13 Mapleview, he had somebody out there in the spring, and it was a plumbing company, and they jetted, and they found there's some kind of a clog. Of course, it's on 143 Emirates property at the side where he has some bushes or some kind of small trees, and the roots down in the black corrugated pipe.
Oh, no, they'll grow in there in a heartbeat.
And I know. And those roots, not counting the 2 oversized maple trees he has in his front yard, are kind of detrimental if lightning never hits them. They're going to either be in the street or possibly hitting my mother-in-law's bedroom. So, but as you can tell by the photo, those trees are exceptionally large. I'm sure you drove by them.
Yeah.
So, but
So from what I'm hearing, legally and following what's in our ordinance right now, the village is doing what we can or what we legally can do and
Advisory?
advising homeowner what their options are and that type of thing. There's
Right.
nothing else.
And we'll assist too, because the best thing for him to do is tie into the basin. And so we allow that as long as this is truly groundwater. You know, we go out, work with him, inspect it, make sure everything's good. So that's something that we can at least offer as a place to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just on the homeowner to ultimately
Right.
do that work to drain it.
okay.
Sorry, one more. Is that something that if the house on Emerald, the one that sits further back, if they tied into the basin drain too, would that help with, or?
Well,
I know not
honestly,
everyone's allowed to.
143, 147, 151 they would all do the project in conjunction with me, but good luck with that, as I've tried to be a decent neighbor and address it to them. The gentleman at 143 initially last year had an open dialogue with it. Gary that lives at 147, his mental capacity, I believe, is kind of diminishing.
Is that still Pierce?
Yes. I know his health's not the best.
Yeah,
and his
yeah. I
son-
rode a school bus with his kids, so he can't be young.
Yeah, and his son is living there, kind of taking care of things, but his son has, I believe it's an afternoon shift job. They have to kind of coordinate care for Gary, but I don't know what kind of conditions anyone else is in to do this type of work, to assist in it. But if you guys can't do anything else, that's fine. I appreciate the time.
I appreciate the education on it. I mean, I grew up in that neighborhood, over on Deberon. It seemed to me like that property drained, that water, I remember being so bad that they had cattails growing back there. Like they couldn't mow it because it stayed too wet to get a mower over top of it at one point. I'm going 30 years or more back, I think, to that memory, but I think it's actually been worse at times.
Sounds like we found our village water source then.
There's the spring.
There you go.
There's your offer.
There's our water. It's salt.
If only that were true.
And what did they finally do to solve the one on Deberon, Ben?
They didn't.
I don't know, I mean, it's.
No, I mean the one, you know where Dan Studebaker lives, where Glassner's live?
Where the runoff of the field is?
No, it come up right in the basement.
It like goes into their house. I know what you're talking about. But is that also, so like as he's explaining it, like that would also be like a civil issue, right? Like because that's
633, I think it is.
like if my neighbor is draining water into my backyard, that's between me and my neighbor, right?
Yes, but you have to prove that they've done something to cause the water to drain on your property.
So like if right, but that would be not the village responsibility. That's something they have to go, like, at the end, ultimately, they could end up going to court over, right? I'm just trying to understand.
Correct, yes.
Okay, okay, that makes sense now.
It's like a property line. You could have someone who has got the education to come out and figure out what the problem is and make suggestions, but it ultimately lies on the homeowners to figure out how they're gonna get to that resolution.
Okay, so like, you know how my house is with my neighbors, who, I have the best neighbors, but like, if they did something that there was water draining into my yard, that has nothing to do with the bill, that's
That's between you two.
That's between us two.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification. I had a light bulb. Appreciate it.
All right, anything else? All right, is there any motions for adjournment?
Motion made, adjourned.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. Thanks a lot.